That's powerful. She said, let us give up the drugs, believing that Jesus does not desire us to be sick, and that if we live according to the principles of health reform, he will keep us well. Is that a promise? Amen. Now let me tell you something as I stand before here. Some people watching the video may say the video goes on YouTube and on the website. And who is she to stand up there and say we shouldn't take medication? Well, you guys who know me, how many children do I have? 6. My oldest son is 26. He can vouch for me, anyone who knows me, who knows my son. My youngest is almost 12. He'll be 12 in June. And since I learned this health message and started reading Ministry of Healing in September of 1991, riding a Greyhound bus from Miami to California to pick up my kids to bring them back to Miami, you ride a bus 6 days, you do a lot of reading. I have not used any medication on my children. My children have been raised with no medicine. My oldest son was 6 years old when I started learning this health message. And they can tell you, when they get a tummy ache, they'll tell you what we use. A runny nose, my kids will run for certain things, and we're going to talk about that today. The only time I took my children to the doctor when they had a broken bone or bloody nose, because back then I really didn't know what to do when someone kept bleeding, their nose kept bleeding. I do now. But for a broken bone, I'm still going to go to the doctor and let them fix the bone. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to go to the doctor. I'm not saying don't ever go to the doctor, but make sure that doctor lines up with the Word of God and Spirit of Prophecy. Remember we learned that? If they are restricted to do what God tells them to do, that's not the doctor we need to go to. She says we should be seeing our own physicians. So I just wanted to share that because I have done these remedies that we're going to be discussing today. So now what I want to do is we're going to deal with emergencies first, okay? So we'll do one at a time. So you guys can raise your hand. We're going to interact. So think of an emergency. When you think of an emergency, raise your hand and tell me that emergency. And by the grace of God, okay, I saw her go up first. I saw her go up second. You went up third, and I think you have raised your hand.
No, just
you didn't. Okay, you were scratching. Tell me an emergency.
Well, the child swallowed something poisonous.
Okay, something poisonous. Swallowing poison. Now, first of all, how many in here have the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia? Okay. In there is a whole list of all the poison control centers nationwide. So what would be good if you're a parent? Make a copy and put a magnet on your refrigerator for easy access. And laminate it, or get one of those sheet protectors so it doesn't get messy, because in the kitchen, mine's right next to the stove, so I need a sheet protector. Okay, swallowing poison. Now, who knows what to do for swallowing poison?
Charcoal.
Amen. Charcoal. But there's some things that charcoal will not help. Look in your book, find out what they swallow, call poison control. They'll tell you they need to get activated charcoal. Even ambulances use activated charcoal. Hospitals use activated charcoal. Years ago, I had to be admitted in the hospital when I was pregnant with my first son, Chauncey. And they gave me, I was like, what? I was 19 years old. What is this stuff? It was so thick, and they put lime juice on it, and it was like, oh, but it was charcoal. See, the Lord was showing me remedies back then. I didn't realize it, though. But I was given charcoal. So charcoal. So if it's a child, you can start off maybe 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, depending, and call Poison Control Center and see what they say. But charcoal is very good for poison. If it's an adult, I recommend several tablespoons of charcoal and quite a bit of water, because it will constipate you. And what color will it make your stool?
Black.
Black. And that'll scare people. You would think that they would automatically get it, but they don't. And they freak out, oh, I have cancer, because that's a sign of cancer, is dark, tarry stool. And it will make your stool dark, and it will make your stool tarry. Okay, so is that a good one for you? Okay, next one. Let's do another emergency.
Having a heart attack.
Okay, heart attack. Come on, people. What do we do for a heart attack?
Cayenne.
I need the
Excellent. We're going to put, how much? Pinch. Grab a pinch, place it under their tongue. You can put some in some water, give it to them. It will literally stop a heart attack in its tracks. Why? Let's hear the medical rationale.
Opens up the blood vessels.
It's a vasodilator. That's right. Vaso meaning the vessels. It opens the vessels. It stops the clotting. Because a heart attack is just blockage to the heart. And the hemoglobin, the blood, carries the hemoglobin. And when that doesn't get to every tissue muscle, you have pain. That's why one of the signs of pain, the reason why people have pain is they bang their foot or something, there's inflammation. The blood's not getting there. The flow. Okay, so is that understandable? Okay, let's do another emergency.
Nosebleeds.
Okay, nosebleeds. Who knows what will stop a nosebleed very quickly? Ice in the back of the neck.
And then face down.
And face down. Don't do this. They found out you'll choke. You'll aspirate on their blood. You pinch your nose. You can put ice here on the nose and ice on the back of the neck. Are we told about water treatments?
Yes.
Yes. Ice water on the back of the neck. Why? Why will ice on the back of the neck stop and no? It's a constrictor. And something here in the neck, you know, all our vessels and veins are connected to the tissues and organs of the body.
What causes bloody nose? And a lot of the young kids have them.
Yes, let me tell you what Sister White says is the main cause of bloody nose. Class, do you guys remember?
Yes. Congestion because not properly clothed.
That's right, because what happens? Parents have their kids in short sleeves. I don't know, forgive my drawing, I'm horrible. Let's see, short sleeves, okay? And they'll have, in the summertime, they'll wear shorts. And then what's exposed?
The limbs.
The limbs are exposed. She said the limbs are supposed to be, even in the summer, we learn it'll cause constipation, it'll cause liver problems, bowel problems. And she said the number one cause of bloody nose is uneven distribution of clothing. Now in the summertime, are we going to wear thick wools and cottons?
No.
No, you wear the light linen and the light cotton, you know, very soft, light materials, but you still want to be fully covered. And we don't want to bring a mockery to that dress reform. You don't want to be big, thick turtlenecks when it's 110 degrees outside, and I see people do that, and it's a joke. She said we are to dress according to the climate in which we live. When you're in 115 degrees, you don't want to dress like you're living in a blizzard in in New York.
Oh, I had an emergency.
Okay? Not too bad on the drawing, huh? Okay.
Asthma,
Nosebleeds.
asthma attack?
Asthma attack, very good one. Okay. First of all, what are good herbs for asthma?
Eucalyptus.
Huh?
Eucalyptus.
Excellent. Eucalyptus is good.
Peppermint.
Mullein is good. Lobelia is good. What I recommend is when somebody's having an asthma attack, do a few things. Have them go outside and do deep breathing exercise, number one. Number two, get some eucalyptus and peppermint oil, mix it with olive oil, rub it on their chest, rub it on their back, rub it on the bottom of their feet. Another thing I would do is I would whiz up some lemon, some eucalyptus oil, hot water, honey, and garlic, as much garlic as they can take. And mullein, if you have mullein, M-U-L-L-E-I-N, it's an herb known for the lungs and for asthma attack. Have them drink that. It really helps.
How do you spell mullein?
M-U-L-L-E-I-N. Now, what causes allergies?
Foods. Dairy.
That's right, that's the number one cause. The number one cause. What's the next one, did we say?
Animal products.
Shellfish. Shellfish above all things, and fish, and then the meat products, yes.
Asthma is an allergy?
What'd you say?
Asthma is an allergy?
Yes, it's an allergic reaction.
Oh, I didn't know that.
People don't know that, yes. In most cases, people get this after they spray the chemtrails in the sky, or when they have pets, or when they're inside and they haven't vacuumed the floor for a long time. As soon as they get, like my girlfriend, she bought the Kirby, and she said her son's allergies. He doesn't have the asthma.
Yeah, it's my daughter, and so like when dust, she complains that makes her get asthma.
Okay.
I thought she just didn't want to clean.
No, it can have an effect. That's why the windows and stuff need to be opened. Now here's the thing also. The handheld nebulizer, when they're having an asthma attack, you can put a couple drops of water in there, a little bit of water, maybe like a teaspoon, and then a few drops of peppermint oil, a few drops of eucalyptus oil. Put it on there and let them do their breathing treatment. They don't need albuterol. I have a few people that had pneumonia and I worked with them, and that's what we did. And they said they didn't get the extrapyramidal jitters, they didn't get the hyperventilation, and it helped them in a day versus it took several days with the medication.
But if she would leave dairy and shellfish, she wouldn't get this?
Not necessarily, but those are dairy is the #1 culprit. How much percent did we say would go away? 60 to 70% of allergies would go away when you remove the dairy. Then after the dairy, remove the shellfish. After the shellfish, remove the eggs, remove the meat, and these are items. That's what really causes the underlying trigger for these allergies. Okay, what's another emergency? What'd you say? Burns. Okay. I so happened to experience this with my daughter when she was little. Little kids don't realize parents can hear sound in the other room. And the stove was on and we had the electric plates and she was climbing to get the cookies. This was in '91 and I just was learning the health message. And we didn't know about cookies yet, but we had some cookies up on top of the fridge in the cookie jar and I could hear clink, clink, clink on the cookie jar and I could hear the wrapper unwrapping. Well, then next I heard her screaming. She'd climbed the stove and put her knee on the burner and her hand. And I didn't know what to do back then. First thing I did was rinse cold water, and then I rushed her to the hospital. But what you can do is, what should we do for a burn? What's the best thing to do?
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera is excellent to do for a burn. Wonderful stuff. But always do cold first. Now, I know somebody who gave a testimony many years ago. He slid on ice where he lived, and there was a muffler, and he burned his arm. And he said God told him to rest it in the ice and pack it, and he kept it, and the next day you would have never known. So if you can put cold water immediately on that burn, and then colloidal silver is really good for burns too, to keep it from infecting. But aloe vera is excellent for burns. Okay, what's another emergency?
Allergy attack.
Okay, let's say anaphylactic shock.
Okay.
Okay, that's the worst of the allergy attacks that you can get. I mean, within a matter of minutes, they have to be. Now, I would call 911 first thing, but in the process, because I don't want to be held liable, unless it's my own family members. What did we say was good for anaphylactic shock? First of all, what is every Seventh-day Adventist supposed to be? A medical what? Missionary. So what do we all need to have? We need to have our own kit. Yes, we should all have one in our cars. Every single one of us should have a kit. Now for anaphylactic shock, if you get the tinctures of the cayenne pepper and the lobelia, and they're an anaphylactic shock, if you put a tincture of each of those in there, it stops the anaphylactic shock. But you can also call 911, but that helps the anaphylactic shock. Have them drink the cayenne pepper. It'll stop the histamine from overacting. All right? So that's really good for anaphylactic shock. And utilize your natural remedies, because there's your natural remedies encyclopedia. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. I'm just giving you like the main remedies. Okay, what's another emergency?
When they do a chemtrail, a lot of people get a lot of mucus. How do you prevent that?
You have something called Purkinje fibers accumulated in your body from the chemtrails. Does anyone remember the health nugget I did last year regarding chemtrails? You need to get Concord grape juice. You need to do a gargle